Good afternoon. Echo, echo, echo. Everybody is ready and up. We are ready to go racing here in China for the GP2. Now, it looks like Yari has the championship sewn up, but I've just been chatting to him now, and it turns out he's got some mechanical issues in his pedals are not responding. So there could be a chance that he's going to have to drive on the old pad, which not necessarily makes you slower, but I think it makes you less consistent. That's what I've discovered this week. Practicing for China this week, the brake pedal on my new steering wheel snapped clean in two, pretty much. And so now I've got to wait until Monday to get a new brake pedal, which means I've got to cope with China this weekend. Through the old pad, which I'm not looking forward to, because China could be a tricky track. It takes a lot of precision. It's about getting the line right, especially through the opening turns. That swooping kickback, and it's very easy to mess up your lap on the final corner as well. So we're going to see people, I'm sure, lose out on fast laps as we watch into the qualifying. We're going to ride on board here with let's not bother having that on. Let's get that telemetry on and have a little watch of Isolate with Flair as he runs through this kickback S back into the return, and now it's up the you've got to keep it as steady as you can. We can see Joe Royal is currently setting the initial pace. He and NJ Devil are doing very well together. Yari has dropped out, which suggests that his pedal problems are persisting, which means that we may well see, well, we're more than likely going to see a new winner for the GP2, as Yari is all but sewn up the championship as we watch Isolate with Flair just run that a little bit wide, and that's not the neatest run through there. Scotty Fennell is now setting the pace further up the track. Let's try and hop up with someone a little bit quicker, and we're right on board with Scotty Fennell now, who comes through this section, and this section is so tight. You've got to keep the traction, keep the power. You've got to try and get it going on as quickly as possible whilst not spinning out, and getting onto this start-finish straight, going as fast as you possibly can. And we can see that Joe Royal has managed to do that a little bit quicker, running up to this big long straight now, one of the longest straights in Formula 1. So long that, again, really important that you've got a setup that's going to allow you to be quick around there. As we can see, Joe Royal maybe doesn't have that setup as he drops back from first down to fourth and then up to second through that section, and almost cutting it a little bit too early from Scotty Fennell, but he keeps his foot out of the power as he runs wide there, which allows him to keep that gap, and is the only person into a 1:46, so very, very impressive from Scotty Fennell. We've got NJ Devil in second, Bob Sada third, the Goat of Anxiety in fourth, Joe Royal fifth, Lunar Jedi sixth, Harry Cully seventh, NBD Vision eighth, and now I've run out of time to tell you about it, but an excellent qualifying lap there from Scotty Fennell. Very, very impressive from him, after he had a disappointing day in the F4 last week, in the F1 last week, in the top tier of the F1. We're running at our top 10 is Yuri and Spaceman. Then we've got Frab by Depakwe, Isolate with Flair, Lewis Argle, Kebab, Villas, Yari, and Too Late Mate all down the bottom. So Too Late Mate having his time disqualified there. So as we said, the high risk is so easy just to make a mistake as you're going around a corner at this track. We'll be looking forward to getting going with this two-pronged racing. Scotty Fennell fills us in that we're going to have a wet race, so this will be interesting. Our first wet race of the GP2. How will everyone be able to handle the wet track? What race is it? Is it wet for, Scott? Is it for both, or? So we're just waiting for the drivers to make any last minute changes to the car, and then we'll have to do our formation lap, where the drivers have a chance to set up the car for set up the car as best they can for the start. It's obviously a challenge to ensure that the car is prepped and ready to go. You've got to make sure those tyres are warm by, you'll see the drivers weaving around all over the track. Scotty thinks it's going to be wet for both. Okay, interesting. So how will the wet weather affect this race? What has Yari done? Has he managed to find a fix? So yeah, Yari will be on to the controller, so we'll see how he's doing from the back there, as we have Frabai and Depakwe get disqualified for colliding with each other. So everyone will be starting on the wet tyre then, in this wet weather conditions. I wonder if we'll have any drying out of the racing line. Hopefully Scotty will be able to keep us informed as we go across the two races. Let us know where you're watching from and who you think is going to be doing well this weekend. Too late, mate. At the back, we can see. I think he's going to make a good charge down this first through this first couple of laps. So he'll be someone to watch out for later into the race. Scotty Fennell, NJ Devil, Bob Sada, all quick drivers. Scotty Fennell says it's a slippery old track out there. Trying to get those tyres warmed up, trying to get them all prepped. But it looks like we're nearly there. As we just wait for Too Late Mate to come into position on the grid. And we've got a few drivers dropped out. Let's hope that there's not a problem with the server. Doesn't look like it is. So here we are, we ride on board. We ride on board now with the lights going out. And we are off. And it looks like a good start from Scotty Fennell up the front, and he's managed to get away from Bob Sada, who's managed to get the jump on NJ Devil, and NJ Devil has lost out to both the Goat of Anxiety and Joe Royal behind him, but it looks like that's because he's ghosting, as we've got someone going off on the back of the track. We've also got so Scotty leading from Bob, and then in behind them we've got Joe Royal next to the Goat of Anxieties. They're going side by side through that corner there. And that's really, really tough driving from the two of them. They're going to have difficulty going through there. And the Goat of Anxiety gets through past Joe Royal, who's now got Yuri, his teammate, behind him. NJ Devil behind him. So it's a bad start from NJ Devil. He's dropped right back. But it's been a good start for... Joe Royal's gone off. Someone went off onto the... off the track there, and the Goat of Anxiety gets back past. So that's a good position gain from him. And now he's right in behind Bob Sada. as they run through this S-curve here, this swooping second sector. So important that you get all of the turns right, as further down the field MBD Vision goes past Lunar Jedi, and it looks like my track is almost back to being correct, not quite yet. So here we are with the Goat of Anxiety having a look up the inside of Bob Sada, and I'm just going to double check that we're still okay with this server. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, so we are back on board then with the Goat of Anxiety, who's got past Bob Sada, and now Bob Sada is getting back past the Goat of Anxiety, and that's a good move from Bob Sada to get back up into third place. So I was looking away and missed where he got up into that position there. Lewis is right down the back, so why is it still showing me that he's first place? Because he's not. Further down, we've got Yari having a battle with and that's drivers who are dropped out of the session. So I'm not sure what's going on here. I think there's a bit of been a few technical issues. It's reading Yari is in fourth place, but he's certainly not, as he's definitely got ghosting cars all around him. But Scotty is definitely still our leader. Then I think from the Goat of Anxiety, who is in second place, with Bob Sada in third. Let's hope that it corrects itself very soon, because I really can't commentate much for you without it sorting itself out. I mean, none of this information is even relevant, is it? So let's just hope that there's some good fights going up the front, as we've right on board with Scotty Fennell, who is our leader, who has got a good little battle going on behind for third place with Bob Sada, and Kebab has come up onto the back of this group really nicely as well. So that's really good driving from him, who's made up 9 places from the start of this race, 10 including Lewis, who is still messing up my timing screen as we watch lots and lots of drivers come through, but we're not staying with the actual action on the track as we watch Kebab trying to get past Fryby on the inside there, but Fryby's got the better traction on the outside on the drier line, and now Kebab is going to have a look. He's got the overspeed, he's got the pace. Is he going to make it past? It looks like he is, and he gets down the inside, turns it in, and nicely done there from Kebab to get past Joe Royal. And then they run wide there. Both of them run wide on the exit there. So I think Goat of Anxiety sets a new fastest lap in second place. So he's catching up to the back of Scotty Fennell nicely, which is quite exciting for us here. Let's hope that Lewis is... it looks like he's going to stick there for a while and confuse us all. Yuri is now having a battle with Isolate with Flare further down the grid. Oh no, he's just getting past a ghosting car, I think. Yeah, it's just getting past a ghosting car. I'm really sorry, folks. I don't know whether this is accurate. As Kebab comes flying past Bob Sada there, and that's a good move from Kebab, and he's up to fourth place. So good, up to third place. Sorry. So good moves there from Kebab as he gets past. And behind we've got Fryby running wide, and that's getting Joe Royal alongside. Joe Royal's going to sweep around the outside and hold that line there, and that's a good move from Joe Royal to do that. Oh, and that's Fryby just running into the back of Joe Royal, and that's going to unsettle him a little bit, and that's a bit naughty if you're going to go for the move after you've hit someone. Fryby shouldn't really do that, but there we go, he gets through, and Fryby back up into that position, and now Joe Royal's going to have the run back on him, and he swooped past there, and now Fryby has a look to the inside. Let's not stick with this view again. As we ride on board with Fryby and Joe Royal, and this is great driving from the two drivers as we watch them sweep around this big turn, trying to get the power on, and it's made even more difficult by the rain and the slipperiness of this track. as we ride on board with Fryby, trying to find a space and can't quite get the gap there. Trying to pull out, I think, a little bit to cool his engine, cool his tyres. And we watch Joe Royal just squirreling around as he tries to make it around the corner, and he doesn't quite, and that's allowed Fryby right up onto the back of him. As we ride further up, it looks like gaps are starting to open up all around this grid, but the Joe Royal Fryby battle is where we're going to stick with then. As we watch behind, Yari is coming past Fryby, so Yari's managed to get a good run out of that exit, and he's managed to get past Fryby, so Fryby must have made a mistake or got held up there, and now it's going to be, he's going to have Too Late Mate all over the back of him, so Too Late Mate already up from the back of the grid, Yari and Too Late Mate charging through the field together, and we watch Too Late Mate now, and Fryby now having a look back, trying to cut back onto Yari, but Yari is just pulling away there as we watch Joe Royal further up the field, about 0.6 of a second up the road from these guys. So a good little battle now opening up in the middle of this pack. That's going to allow our leaders to get away a little bit, but these guys need to get it done. They need to get the passes done pretty soon for Yari and for Too Late Mate. And NJ Devil, who has dropped back to 10th position, is also a little bit further behind this group, so he'll hopefully be able to catch up as well. So this is the battle for 4th place as we ride on board with Joe Royal, and you can see him right behind Bob Sada there. Yari following them through. Then we've got Fryby and Too Late Mate, and Too Late Mate is having a look around the outside of Fryby, and is he going to get the move done there as we ride on board with the two drivers coming around? And this is brilliant, but let's get back on board with them actually driving each other as we watch Too Late Mate pulling out past and getting past Fryby. Too Late Mate's going to get the move done down the inside into the hairpin. Can he keep it held? He can. Is Fryby going to get the cutback? He is not, so Too Late Mate is through, and that is a position gain for Too Late Mate as well, so both he and Yari up 10 places already. So now let's ride on board with Yari, who's right in behind Joe Royal. Obviously no DRS, DRS for the drivers for this race, so it's all going to be about getting the power down effectively out of the corner. So they don't have ERS either, I don't believe. Kebab now catching up to the back of Goat of Anxiety. So Kebab have and I think they're so close to each other, and Goat of Anxiety just covers it off, and you're never going to get through here. Really tricky place to overtake. As behind, some good little battles opening up here. The battle for 2nd place between the Goat of Anxiety and Kebab, and Kebab has made a real strong move up the field. Set up for the wet weather maybe, and that was why he missed out on getting the in the higher qualifying position. As we now watch him right in behind the Goat of Anxiety, and up this big long straight is a place where he'll be wanting to have a look at getting the pass done. You might not have the ERS, but you have the slipstream, and we can see the power of the slipstream. As he's closing up, but it's not going to be enough this lap. Let's ride further back then. We've got Joe Royal and Bob Sada, and Yari is having a look at the inside of Bob Sada, and he's not going to get that move done. And he's going to try the cutback. Is he going to try the cutback? Is he going to get it done? We ride on board with Fryby, watching this little battle happen ahead, and he's not going to get the move done this time. So, Fab and the Goat of Anxiety continue on with this battle as Isolate from Flare gets a 3-second penalty down at the back of the grid. We will assume that he's pitted at some point. Yeah. This is a nice move from Kebab around the inside. Is he going to leave enough space? And that's a good move there from Kebab. Oh, great driving there from both drivers to leave each other enough space and not come crashing off the track. Excellent, excellent work there. So well done to Kebab, who is now up into what is second place. I don't know why this infernal machine is telling me, insisting that it's not. But there you are. Joe Royal is now past Bob Sada. So Joe Royal has just got past Bob Sada. And that's a good move from Joe Royal. And then we also done that at the hairpin there, which is really excellent driving from him. So now it's going to be Yari in behind Bob Sada as well. Bob Sada has got a better run here on this exit. And not quite going to get the move done on Joe Royal. And is Yari going to have a look down the inside? He's not. He pulls out. And this is a much nicer camera angle. Why can't we have this camera angle every time? Look at this with the 4 drivers all nose to tail here. And it looks like Too Late Mate on the back of Yari is also going to challenge Yari. So Yari's in a very tricky position here of wanting to get past, but knowing that he's got the faster driver behind, as we watch him come right up to the back of Bob Sada here and trying to make the move past. And Yari goes sliding down the inside of Bob Sada, and he's going to get the move done. And Bob Sada down to 7th place, Yari up to 6th. That's fantastic driving from him up from the back. So really impressive on the pad there. Now Too Late Mate is going to have a look at trying to get past the back of Bob Sada, and he does as well. So Too Late Mate swoops past Bob Sada there, out of that exit. And if Yari was hoping that he'd managed to build a bit of a gap by having Too Late Mate held up, he was sorely disappointed as Harry Cully gets past Yuri there, up into 11th place. Sorry, happened to 10th place. My apologies, because everyone's a position up. Because Lewis is definitely not last, so I don't know why he's been dropped into first so far behind. But there's now a 2-second gap up between Kebab and Scotty. Will he be able to bring that down as he's milled out a seconds gap on the Goat of Anxiety, who has got a bit of a gap there. And Too Late Mate and Yari are going to go side by side. We've got Too Late Mate and Yari going side by side through this swooping S's, and I said you couldn't overtake here, but very impressive for the two drivers to be so careful, so delicate next to each other. And don't touch, lads. Really great driving. And and he just clips Yari, just trying to get through there, trying to keep as wide a line as possible. Just touching Too Late Mate, and that's going to allow Too Late Mate through. So that's Too Late Mate now up into 6th place, and he's found a way past Yari. So now Too Late Mate is going to have a good opportunity to work his way forward here. And he's got Joe Royal a second up the road, but now he's got Yari trying to come back on him with the slipstream up the big long straight. And Yari and Too Late Mate are side by side, hitting the brakes. Who can get the corner? And Joe Royal's run wide. Joe Royal's run wide ahead of them, and that's going to allow Yari to get side by side. And now they're going to be going 3 into this corner, and Yari is through. Yari swings into the pits. Joe Royal and Too Late Mate continue on, and Joe Royal just about manages to hold the place from the other drivers. So Yari swung into the pits, and so is Bob Sada. So I'm assuming that they're guessing these tyres will not last to the end of the race. I haven't seen any damage on Yari's car, and they haven't got a new nose cone out, have they? No, definitely not got a new nose cone out. So they've decided to swing into the pits. Does that mean everyone else will swing into the pits ahead of them? What will the race leader Scotty Fennell do? What will our top 3 do? Goat of Anxiety, who's managed to hold on to that gap to Kebab, so he's doing pretty well there. Too Late Mate now trying to close that gap of about 6 seconds further up. Little gaps opening up all over the field as Yuri drops out and becomes our second retiree of the race. Goat of Anxiety, just getting a little bit out of it as he runs through that corner. So tricky to get done right. Oh, that's for you, okay. And it looks like Kebab is just about managing to pull away from the Goat of Anxiety a little bit, but not enough to reel in Scotty Fennell ahead. So it looks like Scotty Fennell has got the position as Scotty Fennell comes into the pits now, followed by Kebab, followed by the Goat of Anxiety. So all of these drivers swinging into the pits. Too Late Mate is going to follow them as well. Joe Royal now will move into the top spot for the race lead, but he is still yet to pit. So everyone else pitting now, except Lunar Jedi. Lunar Jedi also swinging into the pits, so Lunar Jedi 2, Pat to Packway, I'm guessing is going to come into the pits as well. No, he's not. He's going to stay out. So Depakwe stays out, and that means that Yari's going to come round onto the start-finish straight. And where's he going to come out in comparison to everyone else? He's going to come past Too Late Mate, and he's going to come out in what will be a 4th place once everything has sorted itself out. Because he's got a couple of drivers ahead. Oh, as he runs a little bit into the back of Depakwe. And the F4 driver is holding him up a little bit as he swings around the inside there, and that's just where you could just find that extra, the grip these top drivers manage to create and find, like Yari and Too Late Mate do, swooping past Depakwe, who I guess is not fighting them. On the older tyres, it's not going to be possible, it's not going to be worth it. So, Joe Royal then. Is still yet to come into the pits. He will do this time. Where will he feed out next to compared to Yari and Too Late Mate? Especially if Yari and Too Late Mate are having a little battle on track. This could really work into Joe Royal's favour. Come on lads, give us a good fight. You've been driving so well, the pair of you, to come up the order. Yari managing to use the undercut because Too Late Mate managed to get past Yari once. Managed to use the undercut to his advantage. And that has now got, but now he's going to try and use the fresher tyres. Got a lap fresher tyres, so he's going to try and use that advantage to get past Yari here as Yari swoops to the inside to try and break the toe, and swooping around to try and stop the Goat Bank, stop Too Late Mate from getting the toe from him, and Too Late Mate really close in behind. And is he going to have a look on the exit here? Too Late Mate goes to the outside, and is he going to have the better traction coming up the straight into the exit? And they've got someone coming out of the pits ahead of them as well, and they get past, and it looks like Too Late Mate is still going to trying to still swoop around the outside, and he manages to get it through and up past Yari. So Too Late Mate manages to get the move done a second time, and now he's got Kebab ahead of him. So is Joe Royal going for the super risky strategy of staying out on the wets? Is that Joe Royal's plan here? He's just going to stay out on this same set of wet tyres and try and run them till the end. Interesting choice. They'll surely be screaming bloody murder by the end of the race, but we shall see how Joe Royal gets on. As further down the field we've got Harry Cully and that's the Goat of Anxiety. So what's happened to the Goat of Anxiety? Because he was fighting up the top with these guys, and he's got wing damage. So he's had an incident and he's got wing damage there, and he's on fresh tyres. So he must have come in and then immediately come out and got wing damage and got a penalty. So not good for him. As he always, you see him swoop off onto the side there, and the Goat of Anxiety is surely out of this race. Yes, that's him dropping out of the race there. Lunar Jedi right behind NJ Devil here.
and trying to find a run on him up this straight. So NJ Devil just not being able to make the convert from that excellent qualifying position. A few too many mistakes maybe, or just not the right setup for this for dealing with the wet track. As we watch Lunar Jedi having a go, having a look up the inside, but he's not quite close enough to do it this time, and he's going to be patient, hold on behind, and continue to ride along. He'll continue to ride on board as he looks up the outside there. You're not going to get past down there, but they might give you the cut back onto the straight, which it does, and that's a brilliant bit of driving there from Lunar Jedi. Really, really sensible, knew exactly how he was going to get past NJ Devil there, so plan that, prep that, set it up, and absolutely knocked it down. So well done from him. Now let's have a little look at these gaps further up. It looks like this gap is growing a little bit between Scotty Fennell and Kebab. I think Kebab has just made a mistake there, because that's just grown an awful lot in the last couple of seconds that I've been watching. That gap of 16 seconds to Joe Royal is coming down. Is it coming down fast enough for Scotty Fennell? That's the question. Yari and Too Late Mate in behind. And they're not quite close enough as Vision and Packway. What's going on there? Oh, Vision is off. MBD Vision has spun off the track somewhere, and where is he? In the hairpin. Yeah, the hairpin there. He's come off the track and he's gone too deep into that hairpin. So not great from him. Harry Cully now up behind Fradby. So Harry Cully trying to make up for a poor start, or whatever it was that happened to him, to drop him down from his qualifying position as 7th on the grid. As we watch the drivers swooping around, and yes, you're allowed to move, but that's a little bit excessive there from Fradby, sweeping around the track. And Harry Cully's going to have a look at the inside on the way out, and he's not going to get the move done there. So now Harry Cully's going to try and get the move, have a look down this straight onto that exit there, and he swoops to the outside again with the extra pace, and he's got so much more grip and speed on the straight there that he just swoops past Fradby up into 8th place, and that's a good move from Harry Cully, who's now got 4.2 seconds to find to Bob Sada ahead of him. So let's see if he can manage that. I'd be amazed if he does manage that before the end of the race. Kebab, it looks like he's managing to bring this gap down to Scotty Fennell, who is definitely not bringing the gap down enough up the top there to... what was happening there, not sure what was happening there, but definitely not bringing the gap down enough to Joe Royal at the top to argue that the 2-stop was the way to go. It's surprising. It's surprising. You know, it's only 16 laps long, this race. If you can get it to... I mean, I'm saying all of this, who knows? His tyres could really fall off a cliff, and he could, you know, you can end up going, especially in the wet, 8, 9, maybe even 10 seconds slower a lap. So let's see what happens there. A little bit of quiet all around the way around the track. To Packway into the pits to get a new set of tyres. MBD Vision also into the pits to get a new set of tyres. So what happened with those guys? I'm guessing maybe they got a little bit naughty as we watch MBD Vision really try and warm those up as best he can as he comes round. And we see our race leader, Joe Royal, coming round there to lap MBD Vision. And those older tyres are going to be a real challenge for him to deal with, as this gap is going to start really capitulating, you would think. Kebab still within just over a second behind Scotty Fennell, and where else have we got? Everything's a little bit quiet now, isn't it? So I think we've had some really good quality racing around the track today. I'm afraid I've no idea where in the field Lewis actually is. I mean, who's he right behind? It's not MBD Vision. Is it Frarbite? Yeah, he's right behind Frarbite. So Lewis Argo is actually in 10th place, which puts Lunar Jedi in 11th. As Kebab has now managed to get within a second of Scotty Fennell. So he's managed to get within a second of Scotty Fennell, and they're on equally fresh tyres, so it'll be all about a battle of who can get the move done there. The gap is starting to come down, but still it's not going to be enough to come down to Joe Royal, but this is the battle for second as it stands between Scotty and Kebab, as you see them coming past lap drivers, having a little battle there as well. So a good little battle opening up there between I'm guessing Depakwe and Vision at the back of the grid as they go in side by side, and Depakwe ends up spinning and gets taken out there, trying to close into a gap that I just don't think was really there. Kebab now providing us with some entertainment in the battle for second place, and can he manage to close in the gap to Scotty Fennell ahead of him? And Scotty Fennell's run wide. Scotty Fennell's got off onto the grass, and oh, is that going to allow him past? It's just the worst place for you to get that kind of opportunity, because you're not going to get it past, you're not going to get it there. But trying to look around the outside. Ooh, look over to the inside there. Is that a place you can really make a move? It looks like he's going to get it done, and great driving there from Kebab to get past Scotty Fennell. Fantastic driving there from the takeaway food inspired driver, as Scotty has to give up second place to Kebab, who is an absolutely stonking drive from so far down the field, starting in 15th place to get all the way up what will be second. Absolutely spellbinding performance from Kebab so far, and some really nice clean overtakes as Scotty Fennell looks to try and come back on him and leaving the space there, but Kebab's going to have the outside line onto the better traction, and that's great driving there from Kebab, leaving the space. Totally fair, totally fair in the way that he's driving. Brilliant driving there from Kebab, and a totally deserved second place. Too Late Mate sets a new fastest lap for the race, and he's now just 1.5 seconds behind Scotty Fennell, but there's only 2 laps left, as there's now an 8-second gap, an 8.5 second gap. Harry Cully is past Bob Sada, so Harry Cully gets past Bob Sada for 7th place, and that's a good recovery drive from Harry Cully. I'm not sure what happened to him so early on, but something happened to drop him right down to the back of the grid, and he's done really well to recover back up to his qualifying position. Bob Sada, his race has a little bit got away from him today. Still, if he holds it here, he will get to start from pole in the sprint race after. Because remember, we flip our grid and leave them that way. And it looks like Too Late Mate is onto the back of Scotty Fennell. Scotty Fennell's rear kicking around all over the place there, desperately fighting him in an attempt as Scotty attempts to get it through the corner, and Too Late Mate's going to have a look to the inside here. Oh, and he touches. A little bit of contact, so you're not going to get past on the inside of that corner there. You're much better waiting to get the better traction, get the better run out of this corner and up onto the start-finish straight. And we ride on board with Too Late Mate right behind Scotty Fennell. Is he going to be able to move from what will be an incredible 18th place up into third place, sorry, up onto the podium. And Scotty Fennell's car is just letting go now. He was so quick in the early part of the race. I'm so surprised that he's not got the pace and the speed in the second bit. And it looks like he's just run wide there and had to get out of it in order to not get the penalty. Is that going to allow Too Late Mate? Too Late Mate just had to get out of it behind him in order he couldn't get past there. So, going to have a look around the outside. This will be a brave move as he swoops right around the outside, and that's fantastically brave and fair from both drivers again. Great driving from the guys, and we watch Too Late Mate sweep. He's now got the inside line for the next corner, and he gets up into third place. And what an excellent afternoon of racing we have had to watch here. For some reason it's given Lewis the checkered flag when he hasn't actually finished first yet, but we're going to ride on board with Joe Royal. Now, that gap has come down 5 seconds since I last looked at it, and that was only a couple of laps ago. So let's have a little look at what is going on there, as it's still 3.5 seconds. And I don't think it's going to be enough from Kebab to get close to Joe Royal on this last lap. So an inspired decision from Joe Royal to stay out on the wet tyres, because that is absolutely brilliant, that is, to stay out on the wet tyres and do that so nicely. Where else have we got about? We've got Scotty Fennell still looking just behind the back of Too Late Mate. Got Yari, and there's a gap there, bit gaps all over the field, really. Lewis isn't involved in anything, is he? Sorry, Lewis. Like, if you've been involved in anything, mate, I'm so sorry that we've missed it, because you've been glitched into first place for the entire race. As we watch Joe Royal come through the final hairpin here, down into the final corner. This swooping left-hander, so easy to misjudge, but he does not, and comes across the line with Kebab right behind him. If this race had been any longer, you would think that Kebab would have beaten him, but it was 16 laps long, and 16 laps was all Joe Royal needed it to be, as he takes the win. Kebab comes over in second, Too Late Mate third, Scotty Fennell in fourth, Yari comes over in fifth. Harry Cully will take, as he swims really wide there on the exit, he will come over the line for 6th place. 7th place goes to Bob Sada. 7th place goes to Bob Sada. 8th place goes to Fradby. This must be the I think it must be one of the longest races of the season, mustn't it? Because it's just such a long track. So yeah, absolutely. The game gives Too Late Mate the victory. I'm going to give mine to Kebab, because I think Kebab did so well there. Some properly solid overtakes, and really quality bit of driving. So very, very impressive with those guys. Okay, and it's glitched it right up onto the board as well. Yeah, so don't know why it's saying there that Lewis won, because he didn't. Joe Royal won. Kebab came in second. Too Late Mate third. Scotty Fennell fourth. But a great bit of racing there. So now we're going to have our flip round race, and that means that Lewis is going to get promoted up to 8th place on the grid. So lucky for him, it's kind of worked out into his favour. Too Late Mate was the only person to go under 2 minutes in that bit of racing. Let's see what the weather's like. Let's see what the track is like as we return for the sprint race here in China. Are you playing on a controller then, Scotty?
And just like that, it is in dry indeed. So we're going to be dry for this sprint race, which means everyone's going to go for the medium tyre, as you won't need to pit between now and the end of the race. Bob Sada will lead us off. Harry Cully in second place. Yari in third. Scotty Fennell in fourth. Too Late Mate in fifth. Kebab in sixth. Joe Royal in seventh. Lewis in eighth. Fradby in ninth. We're going to have Lunar Jedi in 10th. NJ Devil in 11th. Isolate with Flair in 12th. Villas will be in 13th. MB Division in 14th. Tapakwe in 15th. Goat of Anxiety 16th. Yuri in 17th and Spaceman in 18th. So, be interesting to see who can make a bid up the field from the back. I'm going to be suggesting the Goat of Anxiety will be one to watch out for in that stakes. MBD Vision, who usually very, very quick, had a spin in that last one. As we watch all the drivers swooping side to side, trying to keep those tyres as warm as possible, trying to get them hot and ready. And we wait for the start of the sprint race. So, it looks like the drivers at the back of the grid have taken their positions. We are now ready to go with Bob Sada in our top spot. The 5 lights go out and we are off, and it looks like Harry has managed to get a good start there off the line away from Bob Sada, but it looks like Scotty has got an even better start from behind, and Yari has managed to swoop past on the outside, and they touch a little bit, and that's going to push Yari wide, and that's going to allow Scotty Fennell up the inside, and that's going to allow Lewis up the inside as well. So Lewis really making a good start. Oh, we got a big crash there, and the drivers are on top of each other, cars crashing into each other all over the place. So is that going to cause damage on Harry Cully and Yari? It looks like they're all coming out from this section here, and Kebab has managed to sweep around the outside, and going to have a good run there as Joe Royal goes running into the back of him slightly, and someone's gone spinning off behind. It looks like MBD Vision has gone spinning off, and there goes Harry Cully off into the side of the track, and Harry Cully is out, and that's a yellow flag in Sector 2. Is that going to be a safety car? It doesn't look like it is going to be. And further up the field, we've got Lewis and Joe Royal side by side here. Joe Royal is getting past Lewis there, up into 4th place, so good move there from Joe Royal, and he's going to have the inside line into this corner, but that's going to give Lewis the inside line through the next, and he's not going to quite have the speed, and that's going to allow Too Late Mate onto the back of Joe Royal as they come around 3 abreast, trying to get the best possible traction out of that exit, and Lewis goes running wide. Too Late Mate looks like he's going to get past Joe Royal there into 5th place, and now he's going to have a look up the inside of Lewis as well. Is he? They're so close. This tight by side 3 abreast into that corner, and it looks like MBD Vision. It looks like Lewis is going to come out ahead. Joe Royal next to Too Late Mate. Joe Royal's managed to get the better traction around the outside of that turn there, and has Yari gone swooping? No, Yari has not gone swooping past for 1st place yet. Lewis and Joe Royal now side by side swooping through this kickback corner, and Joe Royal so wide, he's not going to get the cut back there properly, he's not, but good driving there from these guys as we watch on board with Lewis
Joe Royle so close in behind him, and this is a great little battle here for what will be third place. The fabled timing glitch that have flicked my every race on this bleeding game is causing all sorts of issues, and this is all allowing the top three to really break away from the pack here, as it looks like everything's corrected itself now. So we've got Bob Sada up in first place, we've got Scotty Fennell right in behind him, and we've got Yari in behind him. So Bob really hoping to make a better go of it than he did on the feature race. Joe Royle behind him in 5th place. He's just behind Lewis, and it looks like, oh, he's run wide there. Lewis has run really wide, and is that going to allow Joe Royle to get up the inside of him? And it looks like it is. Now Kebab is going to get past as well, so not managing to keep the line there from from Lewis. He's got passed by 2 drivers up that straight, and and it looks like Kebab just clipped into the back of Joe Royle as he was coming around that corner, and Lewis has conceded that position, I think. Oh, it's a virtual safety car, so we've got a virtual safety car, so we had to give up the position to the car ahead. So everyone will get neutralised now. We'll have a little break in proceedings, a little pause in proceedings as they sort out whatever the problem was. It looks like Fradby is the one DNFing, so not sure what's happened to him. Someone swung into the pits. Who's that? Isolate with Flares come into the pits while everyone is slowed down. Now, don't need to pit, so it's not going to necessarily be an advantage, but it's certainly better time to pit than any other as we go racing again. And Yari has managed to get past Bob Sada, and Yari is up into 2nd place, and it looks like Bob Sada maybe made a mistake there because he's dropped right the way back from 1st to 3rd, and now it looks like Yari's going to have a go on Scotty Fennell coming into this swooping S section, and look how close they are. Brilliant shot there from the track monitor, from the curb, as we watch the drivers go side by side. And he's not going to get the inside line there, but he is going to get the inside line here. And they touch their wheel to wheel. Little bit of contact, little bit of argy-bargy, and that's going to give Bob Sada a run on behind them. And Yari's still not quite got this move done as we watch the 2 drivers go side by side into this section, and not quite getting the move done there. Let's ride on board with... And it looks like Bob Sada's going to have a bit of a run on Scotty Fennell. So this battle for first place is great, and it's allowing the drivers behind to really catch up as well, as we watch them all trying to swoop out of each other's slipstream. Don't hit each other, lads. Yari goes to the inside. Bob Sada goes even closer to the inside from him, and looks like Yari's going to get the position down onto the straight. So good move from Yari there, up into 1st place, driving on his controller, remember. And Bob Sada is up into 2nd. Scotty Fennell pits, so Scotty Fennell maybe got a bit of front wing damage there. Kebab goes into 3rd place with a new fastest lap from Lunar Jedi, then from one from Go to Anxiety. All sorts of fastest laps tumbling in there. As all the drivers are getting bunched up by this battle for the lead, as we watch Bob Sada close in behind Yari. So what happened to Scotty to cause him to need to pit? What's happened to NJ Devil as well? Same things happened for him. So not ideal for those lads. As we watch Bob Sada all over the back of Yari trying to find a way past. We've got behind them we've got this battle, Lewis and Kebab battling for 3rd place. Behind them we've got Lunar Jedi and 2 Late Mate battling for 5th place. So some good little battles happening all around the track. As Lewis and Kebab's going to have a look up the inside of Lewis, and he pushes him a little bit wide there. Yari has got a penalty. Yari's got a penalty, ladies and gentlemen, so that's going to be big. That's going to be really important in this race later on, and Kebab has not managed to find his way past Lewis, as we've got another virtual safety car, this time for Lunar Jedi, and Lunar Jedi has crashed out onto that straight over there, so maybe battling with Goat of Anxiety. He's crashed out. I'm not sure what's happened to him. So we'll wait for the virtual safety car to clear that for us, and then this racing will resume. So Yari's got a 3-second penalty, and oh, Yari's got a drive-through.
Yari's got a drive-through penalty, and that is going to be absolutely huge. As Yari comes into the pit to serve his drive-through penalty, Bob Sada gets promoted up into the top spot. Who's following him in there? And Lewis goes up into second place. Looks like Kebab has followed Yari into the pits there. NJ Devil has also got a throw-through penalty at the back of the grid. And now Joe Royal is up into fourth place. Too Late Mate up into third, and just a second behind Lewis, as the Goat of Anxiety has got a 3-second penalty. Now in fifth place. Kebab in sixth, having come... Is Kebab pitted? What happened to Kebab? So Kebab hasn't pitted. Interesting. How has he ended up? Because he was fighting for a top spot there, so he must have made a mistake somewhere to allow all the other drivers past him. The Goat of Anxiety within a second now of Joe Royal. As Yari gets past Depakwe for 8th place, and now he's in behind MBD Vision. And you would think with the fresher tyres, Yari's going to make light work of this, as you watch him swoop around this corner and up onto this back straight. And you'll probably want to wait and prepare it for the next straight, because that's the best place to overtake on the track, really. Let's have a look. Goat of Anxiety, this corner that we're coming up to here, so we watch the Goat of Anxiety finding his way past Joe Royal, and that's a good move from him. Really nice position gain from the Goat of Anxiety. Now we're on board with Yari, who is also behind, MBD Vision, and MBD Vision cuts the inside to try and break the slipstream, and Yari goes to the outside, and Yari's going to have the traction around the outside on the fresher tyres and the better grip, and Yari gets that move done. Really nicely done there from Yari as well. So Yari up into 7th place. Joe Royal and the Goat of Anxiety now very close to each other. Scotty Fennell goes past Depakwe for 9th place, as Scotty Fennell sets a new fastest lap for the race. So a good move from Scotty Fennell in 9th place, but he's got a lot of work to do with half the race completed. Lewis now is within a second of Bob Sada, so Lewis has really managed to turn this tie in his favour. He's managed to keep his foot in there, and he's doing really well as he has a look to the inside, but he's got Too Late Mate all over the back of him, so he's going to need to try and get this move done as quickly as possible. So Scotty, Too Late Mate has a look up the inside of Lewis. Is he going to have get it done? He's not. He's going to be pushed to the outside for the next corner. Now he's going to try and keep a tight as line as possible. Isolate with Flare goes up to 9 seconds worth of penalties. Lewis and Too Late Mate. Too Late Mate's got the inside line. He's going to push it up, and he gets past on the better traction. Now Lewis has got the slipstream. The DRS is wide open for both cars. Lewis now gets to the inside, and now can Too Late Mate do the cutback? He cannot. That's a great bit of defending there from Lewis to get back into the slipstream and use that to his advantage, managing to get past Too Late Mate, and all of that is giving, and Lewis now gets his 3 seconds worth of penalty. You know what, I've been feeling that's been coming for a little while, that he's going to get that penalty, and it finally does, as Too Late Mate goes past him. And now it's Scotty Fennell is also up into 8th place past MBD Vision, so a good move from Scotty Fennell further down the field. So now, can Lewis stay in behind these drivers? It looks like Too Late Mate is probably going to catch up to Bob Sada and make a good move on him there. MBD Vision and Scotty Fennell battling it out through the kickback corner. And MBD Vision back up into 8th place. So after Scotty thought he had the move done, he clearly didn't get it done. You've got to make them stick. And this fight for first is looks like it's going to go between Bob Sada and Too Late Mate. Scotty Fennell back past MPD Vision, and
This battle for 8th is really excellent, really heating up on the track there. As further up the field, we've got Too Late Mate having a look at the back of Bob Sarda. He opens up the rear wing, the DRS flap. He goes to the outside where Bob Sarda allows him space to try and hold the inside line, and he tries to get the better traction. Bob Sarda manages to get the drive out of the corner better, just as well as Too Late Mate does, so there's no way past that time. What about this time? He's so close to the back of him, and the DRS opens up. Too Late Mate set a new fastest lap. Scotty Fennell again forces him to go to the outside. It's good defensive driving from Scotty Fennell, but he's not going to have the answer as Too Late Mate swoops around the outside. Can he keep the inside line for this next corner? He can't, as that then gives Too Late Mate the inside line for the exit, and Too Late Mate is up past Bob Sarda. There's neck and neck. Bob Sarda's back. Bob Sarda's going to have the inside line for this next corner. Now Too Late Mate cuts to the inside as Bob Sarda tries to get the best run he can through the corner, and he does, and he keeps Too Late Mate ahead of him again. So fantastic driving here. What a battle for the top spot we have got going on between these two drivers, and really excellent from the pair of them. Too Late Mate tracking in so close to the back of Bob Sarda. You would think this move's going to happen eventually, but it's not happened yet. And the longer Bob Sarda can keep Too Late Mate behind him, the better the chances he's got of holding that position all the way through. As we're going to ride on board here with Lewis, watching the two drivers as he watches Too Late Mate closing into the back of Scotty Fennell, Bob Sarda. Bob Sarda goes to the inside. This time Lewis, Too Late Mate cuts to the inside, and Too Late Mate gets up into first place, and he's going to touch with Bob Sarda, and that's going to allow Lewis to get past both of them. And Lewis now up into first place. So Too Late Mate, having been battling away in second place, ends up back in second place, just behind a different driver, and now both of them are going to swamp Lewis down into this swoop-in corners, set of corners, and it looks like everything's going to return back to where it should be. Lewis still having a look up the inside. Got to be careful. Such great driving from all three of them to leave each other enough space to do this, as Lewis goes wide onto the AstroTurf out there, and that's going to really cost him time. But that is Too Late Mate back up past Bob Sarda. Bob Sarda has a look to the inside, decides against it, and backs out of it. Trying to keep the better line off the exit, just trying to keep get as much power down as early as possible. And that is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic racing from all three of our top three today in this race. I mean, to go three abreast through those corners and not touch each other, that's just excellent skill and a tribute to the brilliant drivers that are here in the Sunday Race League. Further down the field, we've got Joe Royal still was within 1 second of Kebab. Further down the field, we've still got this battle between Scotty Fennell and MBD Vision raging on, and I didn't want to cut away from that fight for first because obviously that's the top spot, but I was watching this happening as well, thinking, I want to go and see what's going on there, because both of these drivers are so great that I'm sure it's been some excellent driving. But we're back on board with them now, and if this is the only battle we're going to have till the end of the race, then that's fine by me, because I'm sure it's going to be a blooming good one as we watch them try to cut the toe. MBD Vision swooping around on the exit there. Scotty with the DRS. Behind, Pac-Man has got past Yuri. I think those are ghosting drivers down the back there. Maybe with the tyres starting to go off, this battle is just starting to die a little bit, but it's the tightest fight on track, so we'll stick with it for a bit. As Scotty has a look to the inside, to the outside. MVD Vision holds the inside line. Scotty now tries to use the extra pace on the outside of the corner to have the inside line for the next S, and Scotty is through there, and that's a good move from Scotty. Now he's got to try and build as much of a gap as he can before he gets into the next corner, as we watch MBD Vision run wide, and that's an area you've got to be careful of not getting a penalty. Such a tricky little corner as well, that one, because you're sweeping round right, the car's trying to move over to the left, and you've suddenly got to hit the brakes and swing it left, and that makes it very, very tricky to get it through the corner. As we now track on board with MBD Vision, who's got the DRS on Scotty, but doesn't look like he's quite going to have the answer to him this time around. And it doesn't look like he's going to have the pace to cut back either, does it? So let's have a little look. Yari really close in behind the back of Joe Royal. So here's a good little battle happening for us as Yari swoops past Joe Royal. Joe Royal looked like he almost got out of it a little bit. Maybe he had a little bit of oversteer that caused him to have to... Oh, and he's got front wing damage. That's something that's costing Joe Royal time. So maybe he and Kebab had a little incident, and he's come away the worse for wear. Scotty has come off the track, and MBD Vision is off into the gravel. Oh no, MBD Vision is off into the gravel. Broken front wing, and he's retired from the session. Ah, that's no good. Battle between them two. Scotty gets a 3-second time penalty. Oh no, I think he had that already, didn't he? Well, I think, folks, that's pretty much going to take us to the end of the race. We've got Too Late Mate coming over the line onto the final lap now. I think that's going to be pretty much everything that we've got going on. The Yuri Spaceman battle, I think, is... they're both ghosting at the back there, aren't they? Because they've been too close like that for too long. So let's ride on board with Too Late Mate as he swoops through down into this sort of first tight hairpin. Got to try and find the late apex here in order to keep the pace coming out of the corner, and he does that nicely. Swings it up over this crest of this hill down into the S's, and again so nicely held through those corners. It's all about being patient as you build up to this one here, and then it's about trying to get the power back on as early as possible, trying to keep as straight a line through those two corners as possible, down onto the final or penultimate little section here to deal with. These two corners where you've just got to be patient, got to be trying to get on the power as early as possible, but as smoothly as possible as you streak up this onto this big long start finish line. And down through the last hairpin, slamming the brakes on, trying to get it to the apex, just missing it a little bit there. Too Late Mate that time, but it doesn't matter because he's going to cross the line and take the victory. That is first place for Too Late Mate in the sprint race. Bob Sada is going to get second place. An excellent drive from him. Lewis is going to come over the line in third. We're going to have the Goat of Anxiety come and cross the line here in fourth place. So a great drive from the Goat of Anxiety to get back up into 4th place from so far down the grid. Kebab is going to pass him though from the penalties, so is Yari. Then we're going to have Joe Royal come over the finish line. He's going to stay in 7th place with that damaged front wing. Impressive for him to get to the end of the race anyway. Scotty Fennell is going to serve 3 seconds worth of penalties, but it's not going to make a difference as we now ride on board, waiting for Depakwe to cross the line. He's going to come over the line in 9th place, and then we're just waiting for the ghosting drivers at the back. And that was the end of the Grand Prix. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Scotty. Really enjoyed doing it. Yeah, unlucky on the drive-through. It makes it so tough getting those virtual safety car restarts right, because you don't want to lose too much time. But an excellent afternoon of driving, and ladies and gentlemen, an entire weekend where Yari did not win a race. Well, have we written this championship off too early? A great couple of results for Bob Sada means that he is going to push himself up, close that gap on Yari in the championship standings, I do believe. And just all round a fantastic weekend, afternoon of racing. Tomorrow, please do join us for the F4 at 3 o'clock. Then we've got the F2 and F3 races. Obviously, you'll all come and watch the F3 race because that's where the one that I'll be commentating on. And then our first F1 race will be taking place at our F1 race will be taking place at 7 PM, so that will be most enjoyable. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you all tomorrow. Until then, stay safe.